There are many types of clams, both hard and soft-shelled. Fresh clams like these quahogs should have a somewhat sweet ocean-like aroma. Before fabrication, thoroughly rinse hard-shelled molluscs or scrub them with a heavy brush under running water. If they're to be served raw, a glove must be worn to maintain proper sanitation. Place the clam firmly in one hand. Put the clam knife between the two shells, push in with strong, steady pressure, and twist the shell open. Use care not to cut the meat of the clam. Go up and over the flesh and loosen it by cutting through both muscles. Take off the top shell and free the flesh from the bottom shell. Hold it on ice until service. Clams may also be removed from their shells after cooking. Oysters are prized for their rich, sometimes salty flavor and texture. They're often named after the area in which they were harvested because they pick up identifying flavors from their surroundings. For instance, Apalachicola, Chincoteague, or Chesapeake Bay oysters. Their rough shells must also be cleaned thoroughly. For safety, you will need a towel to secure the oyster for fabrication. A sturdy mesh glove may also be used. Place the oyster so the hinge is pointing toward the knife hand. Be sure to hold the oyster firmly, but in such a way that you can raise the upper shell. With an oyster knife, enter where the point forms. You may feel or hear the hinge release. Now turn the knife to open the shell. Carefully move the knife along the top of the shell so as not to damage the flesh. Loosen the oyster meat and take off the top shell. Clean off any broken pieces and loosen the meat from the bottom shell, holding it upright to preserve the liquid, or liquor as it's called. Hold the oysters on the half shell on ice until service. Squid are suited to many cooking techniques. They should be delivered moist and smelling fresh. Under running water, separate the mantle or hollow body from the tentacles. The dark-colored ink sac may be reserved for the chef to make use of the color and flavor within. Take the skin off the mantle. Remove the guts and bone-like sheath or quill. When the squid is clean, cut away the eyes and remove the beak. The various parts of the squid may be cooked whole, stuffed, halved, or cut into rings. The octopus is a larger, less streamlined relative of the squid. This octopus has been blanched briefly in boiling water in order to get the skin off more easily. Remove the eyes, the beak, and mouth. You may use the tip of your knife or pop the beak out with your fingers. Then peel off the skin. It can take some effort to remove the skin and all of the attached suction cups. The flesh, cut or sliced, has a firm texture and sweet marine flavor. Chef Rapp will demonstrate first how to fabricate the popular northern cold water lobster, commonly called the American lobster. From other parts of the world, you will find many different types of lobsters. Lobsters can be fabricated in various ways, either just before or after cooking. Chef Rapp demonstrates one method with this live lobster, which kills it as quickly and painlessly as possible. Keep the bands on their claws for safety. Face the lobster toward your cutting hand. Place a chef's knife on top of the lobster's back and push straight down firmly all the way through, severing the central nerve quickly. Turn the lobster around and cut the rest of the lobster apart. Live lobsters may be fully cooked before fabrication. Partial cooking will firm the meat slightly to make it easier to remove. This cooked lobster can be split in half in the same way you saw demonstrated with the raw lobster. The dark-colored liver, or tomali, is considered a delicacy by some. You can also simply twist the tail off and open the lobster with shears and remove the meat. In a female, the abdomen is broader, and the appendages where the tail meets body are soft and feathery. Cooked lobster claws can be dealt with in a number of ways. To assist your customers, you may use a mallet to crack the claws in 3 places before you serve the dish. You may supply a nut cracker so the customer can get to the meat at the table. Or you may cut open the shells with shears or a chef's knife and remove the meat entirely. The lobster is a very versatile food that can be prepared and eaten in innumerable ways. Shrimp are a very popular menu item in this country. Large or freshwater shrimp, like these, are frequently referred to as prawns. In other countries, prawn may refer to a separate crustacean. Shrimp are often grilled or stuffed. To get them ready for those preparations, trim off the antennas, legs, and bottom part of the tail. If they are large, split them in half, or you may use just the tail. Open it, peel it, and remove the flesh. Devein the shrimp by scoring down the back and remove the intestinal tract with your fingers or a small knife. Shrimp may also be cooked in the shell before peeling and deveining. To fabricate frozen shrimp, thaw, peel, and devein them. Butterfly them, for example, by scoring along the back. If desired, add a stuffing, or cut them almost all the way through for sautéing or grilling.